Seriously, where have all the sellers gone in Schererville? Hey guys, Erica Galinas here for our weekly market update. This week we are talking about Schererville, Indiana, and as I said, we don't really have a lot of listings going on right now and kind of no sales. So let's talk about our monthly numbers. So this is for the month of March, everything that closed in March from, little condos to giant mansions. Although I will note in Schererville, there are no $1 million homes listed, pending, or closed, which is kind of unusual. I don't think it's a bad sign. It's just a little unusual. So let's talk about March 2023 in Schererville. In March, there were 33 units of real estate closed for a total of $11 million. That gives us an average sales price of about $333,000 with average days on market about 38 days. That gives us a list of sales price of 95.51%, which seems oddly low. So I kind of dug into it a little bit to see. They break them down basically from, 1 to 30 days on market, 30 to 60 days. There is a grouping of 90 to 120 days. So houses that were on the market for 3 to 6 months that actually closed at an average of 86.51%. The other categories were all 97, 98, something like that. 90 to 120 days, we're going to talk about this more, but that was starting in October through the holidays, first of the year up till today. I think those are the houses that had the price drops and actually closed, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So comparing back with February's numbers, in February, we sold 19 units of real estate for a total of $6.5 million. That gave us an average sales price of $361,000 with average days on market of 51 days. The list to sales price percentage, again, what it was listed versus what it sold for, was 97.8%, which is actually right in line with all of the other months that we have this data on. So looking from March to February, obviously the average price went down $35,000. I don't think that's necessarily a big deal. In Schererville, there's a wide sweep between, $185,000 condo to, I think our highest sale in here was a house for like $650,000. So when you're working across that big of a number area, $35,000 doesn't seem like that big of a jump. Now, talking about pending listings, these are ones that are listed, have a buyer, haven't closed yet. In Schererville right now, there are 44 pending listings with an average list price of $332,000, which is right on track with what we had in March, so it looks like we're pretty stable right now. Average days on market is 23 days. So of those pendings, only 3 were new construction. There's just not a lot of new construction in Schererville, kind of the polar opposite of the St. John numbers that we went through last week. So 41 existing homes, 31 of them are single family, only 15 are condos, townhouses, and duplexes. That average days on market, 23 days, is a really good sign that sellers are being smart about their listing prices. When you see, 59 days, 51 days, 38 days, all these different time frames, compared to where we were, which was crazy bananas hot, and it was like 5 days, 30 days is usually a pretty good number. Once you're on the market for over a month, approaching 2 months, that's when you have to start to wonder if your listing prices are a little too high. But for these pending houses, these 44 pending listings with average market time of 23 days, those houses were listed very well for what buyers are expecting to pay in Schererville. Now, so far as active listings go in Schererville, this is where I have a couple things that I kind of want to talk about. In Schererville right now, active listings, there are 23 active listings. And again, this is all kinds. Like I said, there's no $1 million homes, but there's like a condo up for $185,000 and I think the next one, there's a couple in the twos, and then it's all $300,000 plus, giving us an average listing price of $449,000. Now, as you can see, $449,000 is a big difference from $351,000 in February, or $333,000 in March, or $332,000 for our pendings. $449,000 is a big chunk of number, and like I said, there's no $1 million homes in there, or big patch of new construction to kind of explain such a large difference. Probably related to that is average days on market for current listings is 59 days. And like I said, once you start to get to that 60-day mark, you're looking at maybe you have overpriced yourself for the current market. So of that 23, 3 are new construction, leaving 20 existing homes, 17 single family, 6 condo, townhouse kind of situations, which leads me to another thing. There are only 20 active listings for existing homes in Schererville right now. This is not necessarily unique to the Schererville market, But based on how all the markets have kind of worked together over the past few years, this is actually a very low number for Schererville. Again, Schererville has a big footprint, it has all kinds of housing, and it's in a pretty fantastic location in terms of being close to Illinois, in terms of being like mid-Lake County, close to parks, county seat in Crown Point, lakes, stuff like that. I don't know why Schererville sellers aren't listing right now. Obviously it's a seller's market, so it keeps prices high, but buyers' interest rates are now 6%, sometimes up to 7% on, mortgages for houses that are $49,000, just to use an example of a number. That's a significant amount added to the monthly payment for a mortgage on these houses. Again, days on market at 59 days, it's terrible compared to the fantastically hot market we had over the past 2 or 3 years. For now, it's pretty average, approaching the high side. It's not as bad as some towns. In Munster, I think our last number was, I don't even know, it was like 74 days or something on market. Crown Point's less. Crown Point, for whatever reason, is considered more valuable. The sellers are more flexible, and they have a lower days on market. So Schererville seems to be sliding into a weird situation that I've seen in some other towns around here, where there's not enough sellers. We don't really have the comps, but the buyers don't really have the buying power because of the interest rate changes, and everybody's just kind of stalled. It's interesting because it doesn't really seem to be all sellers across the board. Again, if we look at that pending listings number, we don't know the closed values yet, but we know that the average list price is $332,000. We also know their average days on market is 23 days, which is a third of what the active listings are. That means that a third of the sellers in Schererville that have entered the market in the past 30 days have priced it well enough to be off the market in an average of 23 days. That also means that 2/3 of the sellers on the market have priced their houses at like $110,000 worth of average sales prices over the past couple months, and they're at 59 days, and the reason is because they are not priced rationally for the market right now. We also know, based on the March sales, that people who had been on the market between 91 and 120 days ended up getting 86% of their sales price to list price, which means that they've been on the market 3 to 6 months, they're done, they're ready to sell, they realize they're not going to get $1 zillion for their house, so they put price drops in place so they can get their houses sold. So what does this mean for Schererville? Honestly, hard to say. I've been doing this for over a decade. This is one of the strangest markets over the past 3 to 6 months that I can remember, because again, it doesn't really seem like it's a super hard seller's market and the market didn't crash, and it doesn't seem like, oh, it's a buyer's market now. It is just kind of this weird stall position. 2 things can get us out of this stall. One is buyers suddenly coming up with enough money or lower interest rates for them to purchase houses at these prices, or sellers doing price drops once they're ready to actually sell their home. My prediction for Schererville is very similar to what my predictions were for St. John or for Munster. Sellers are going to have to start entering the market at more rational sales prices. If your agent is using comps more than, say 60 days old, probably find a better agent, because those markets between, honestly, September of last year and right now, they're completely different markets with a lot of unknowns coming up. So make sure you've priced your house well. You will get the buyers in the door, and you will get that sale done. Schererville sellers and buyers, what do you think? Is there something I'm missing in my analysis? Maybe we'll get a bunch of listings on the market in the next 30 days that's just kind of got to crack the whole thing open. I certainly hope so, but I'm absolutely interested to see what you think is going on with this kind of market stall we have in Schererville. If you live in Schererville, or you're thinking of moving there, really anywhere in the Northwest Indiana, really anywhere in the country, I can always get you a great referral to an agent. But please give me a call or text me anytime, 219-765-2062. If you prefer, you can also send me an email at hsbyerica@gmail.com. You can kind of put more details in there, and we can start a conversation. Also, please check out my website at homesalesbyerica.com. I have buyer's guides on there, seller's guides on there with a lot more detail. And also you can access all of my other market videos, get a house valuation or set up a home search. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe to my channel. I do these market updates once a week for the communities around us. Next week, we are going to be talking about Munster. So kind of interesting update there. There was a lot of days on market time for the active listings there and some kind of wonky price differences. So I'm interested to see, in March if they kind of smoothed it all out or if it's just continued to get all screwy. So please, like I said, like and subscribe and ring that bell so you can get notifications when I post that. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you on Thursday.